Brampton's mayor is calling for immediate help from other levels of government after a man was found dead in an encampment outside a shelter in Peel region. The man's body was found in a tent in a field near Dundas and Main Street on Wednesday. Peel police say the cause of his death has not been determined yet, but it is not considered suspicious. Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown says the man was seeking asylum, and he's warning this will happen again unless the federal government steps up with funding.
We have lunatics in Vancouver that want people in tents and had tents all over our streets here in Vancouver, downtown, east side, little native town. I call them poverty pimps. They want the worst for Canadians, and now it's trickled down to migrants. He was too young to die. He was 40 years old, Sarah Blyth, Ryan Sudds, and Vince from Vandu. How many people have you got killed in tents? How many have you got killed making this go mainstream like your damn hard drugs? Oh, and the worst thing about all three of these people, they don't let tents in their neighborhood.
We've been warning senior levels of government since July this was going to happen. That when you have, and right...
Dude, I've been fighting this tents almost single-handedly on my block and fighting poverty pimps coming in here, calling them unhoused, not even being honest enough to say these are mentally ill people on hard drugs and they need to be in a mental hospital for their own good and everyone else's good. And they pooped and peed on our street, and there were lunatics, even YouTube lunatics, coming out and wanting people in tents. People died, and these lunatics didn't care. None of them cried over the dead people that burnt to death in their tents or when their propane tanks exploded. None of them cared when businesses burnt down, especially that famous restaurant, you know, that burnt down that Hollywood used a lot. I don't remember the name, but I made a video about it. Yeah, let's listen a little more.
And right now we have on average between, on the low end of 46 to the high end of 150 asylum claimants sleeping outside every night.
Horrible.
And this in a country as prosperous as Canada, in a region as prosperous as the GTA and Peel region. It is beyond comprehension that we've allowed this to happen.
But some of the people that come over here.
First of all, you know what? This couldn't have happened without people like Sarah Blyth equivalents and Ryan Sudds equivalents and Vince from Vandu, the lunatic. And he also tells people stay in your tents. It's too dangerous to be inside. But we got the druggies inside now from the tents, and I got to tell you, they make it inside dangerous. And they made our streets dangerous. In fact, Vince lied. Vince from Vandu. He's a drug pusher. Wants to keep people on drugs so he can make money.
Over here, they're used to 90-degree weather, 100-degree weather. They can't handle this, right? So I'm not even going to speculate who's causing death because that's up to the coroner.
And how are you feeling? How are you doing?
Well, I still see his face. I still see his face, and yeah,
Dude, I've seen over 100 dead people, and I see them in my face, in my head when I wake up in the morning. I don't know who's going to enter my head. I am haunted by people with premature death. Engineered, socially engineered by OPS. Sarah Blyth and her band of fucktards.
For another human being to die like that, no. It's unacceptable.
Do you hear that?
I don't accept it. I'm here for other reasons.
None of those three people that have been mentioned over and over come out and cry for the dead people that burnt to death. None of them. Look at this guy's emotionally upset. We got emotional retards running this freaking neighborhood like little commie Marxists and tell us that we can't even record in our neighborhood. And I say, fuck off. I know my fucking Canadian right. And most of these people even have videos down here on their YouTube channel because they're hypocrites on drugs.
Right? But I can handle my own. Right? I'm a Canadian, and I'm a proud Canadian since 1967.
Oh, God. Dude, I'm ashamed Canadian. I wake up every day knowing because of these three people that I have discussed in their bands of fucktards, I qualify for euthanization. And every day I wake up, I know that. And I know they've been euthanizing people in our neighborhood since 2020. illegally because they weren't dying. So, if you're proud of that and still proud to be a Canadian, I gotta say I'm a little ashamed of you.
A spokesperson for Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada says they are deeply saddened to hear the news about the death of an individual.
Oh, shut up. You don't give a shit. If you gave a shit, you wouldn't have allowed this shit to happen. Okay? Deeply sad. No, you're not. You don't give a fuck. You don't give a shit. And that's why this happened.
Individual in an encampment in Peel. A statement goes on to say, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada is in touch with officials from Peel, and we have offered our support. To help alleviate some pressure faced on their shelter system, IRCC has relocated about 70 asylum claimants to IRCC-funded hotels.
Okay. So basically, now they've helped the migrants, and the only people that get to die outside are the Canadians in tents during winter. Thank you, Immigration Services, for killing Canadians only.